Are you forming a double chin by sitting in this position for a long time scrolling through your phone? If so, I have an easy Korean massage technique to lift the saggy skin. Gualsa, which is the Korean facial massage using a stone or hands, helps get that V-shaped look that we want. Eliminating the double chin starts with lifting the cheek muscles and then lymphatic drainage through the neck. Things to get started: one is a good facial oil that you enjoy using. The second is a guasha tool like a stone. You can also use your hands and knuckles to move the facial muscles upwards. If you are new to this, just spend a few moments just getting used to how the stone feels on your face. We will be angling it at a 15-degree angle, but just get used to the motion of sweeping it across your neck, under your jaw, as well as other parts of your face so that you are accustomed to the way that the stone feels. Now for the first step in applying the facial oil. I'm using a Korean brand called Hanyul. It's got yuja extracts to help with brightening and toning the skin. If you are using your fingers or a stone, you want enough oil, 5 drops, for your face and neck so that the stone is just able to glide. I love to inhale the aroma so that I can get the full benefits of this facial oil. Dabbing it onto my face without pulling or tugging and making sure that the amount is good enough so that my entire face has oil. You might need to use a few more drops just so that you get your neck, because the neck is where primarily the lymphatic drainage occurs, so we will be running the stone or your knuckles across this multiple times. If you have really dry skin like I do, then the oil absorbs a lot better. You may need to layer another few drops of the oil so that you have enough glistening on your skin so the tool is able to just glide right across your face. We want to start at the neck and retrain the facial muscles to lift the skin up because everything attaches to the neck. So just below the center of our neck is the sternum, and we want to start by doing a good wiggle with the stone for about 30 to 60 seconds to stimulate the areas which will help with the drainage and opening up pathways for us to max circulation. Most of the wrinkles on the face result from the neck area being too constrained and too tight. Especially the fascia, when it's constricted, it will result in lines and wrinkles. So the motivation here is to really warm up the base so that we can allow for proper circulation. Once the base has been warmed up, then we can start to angle the tool and slowly glide upwards and sweep towards the neck. The focus here is to be very intentional. We want the neck to be loosened so that we can retrain the facial muscles starting from the base. My magic number is 5, so I find that 5 passages or repetitions of the same movement can really help stimulate circulation. If you feel a tingle, don't be alarmed, this is normal. Oftentimes the areas have been so neglected that we are awakening it and starting to accelerate lymphatic drainage. For the neck, we want to start sweeping upwards, so we angle the tool on a 15-degree angle with little to light pressure. There should be no pushing or tugging. And we want to feel very comfortable, but also try to get within to the second layer, which is where all the nutrients are, and move them closer to our facial muscles. So here we continue to do 5 passages, adding a wiggle to loosen up the areas and help promote the toxins from separating and then being drained out. As we work through the neck and move closer to the jawline, you will find that you are swallowing more and salivating. This is a good sign that we are working through the blockages and promoting circulation. After each set, we want to move the stagnation and toxins down the neck, into the armpit, and then eventually the spleen for proper detox. If you notice areas turning pink, that's okay. That's a sign of energy buildup, and then it helps to drain. So we're going to drain down the neck 5 times. Ideally, you want to avoid the thyroid area, which is the middle area of the neck. You'll focus on the sides and then moving it down towards the armpit. Culturally, Koreans are fascinated by people's years. They think that the years really determine youth and prosperity. They are actually connected to the kidneys. So if you are feeling that you're aging prematurely, give a good tug on those years. Now for one of my favorite moves. We'll angle the stone flat, place it at the base of our chin, and just give it a wiggle for about 30 seconds. This helps to eliminate the double chin while also bringing the energy upwards towards our facial muscles. As we do this, we notice that we are swallowing a lot more. This is because we are stimulating the lymph and also transferring all the toxins out. Now let's transfer the stone on the longest edge over to our side jawline. So we want to use the same wiggling hand motion, and feel free to apply a little bit more pressure if you're able to, especially if you're concerned about having that double chin and extra sagging skin around the jaw. This helps promote that V-shaped face that a lot of Koreans find aesthetically pleasing. I like doing this movement and I count to about 15 seconds. Just by working on the neck and the jawline, already the tension has diminished quite a bit. With our loosened neck muscles, we want to now target specific areas of the face, starting with the chin. Using the stone, we want to add a little bit of resistance. So in the opposite motion, we will use our resting hand and then using the stone to move upwards. We do this again for 5 times. Adding a wiggle at the end to promote loosening of tightened facial muscles. Following the chin, we want to continue to move upwards from the laugh lines up to our ear. So using the wider edge of the stone on a 15-degree angle, move upwards to smooth the laugh lines. We are releasing the kidney and the adrenals by doing this. Use the resting hand, the fingers holding the skin on the chin to avoid the skin being dragged. We do this for 5 times. This exercise is to tighten the facial muscles and make the skin smoother to draw the focus back onto our eyes, nose, and mouth areas. To eliminate the drainage that we have accumulated, we will use the longer edge of the stone and work downwards in sweeping motions using lighter pressure. We do this 5 times. And then sweeping downwards towards heart center. The side cheek muscles are the strongest muscles on our face, so we could apply a little bit more pressure. I like to focus on the cheeks to naturally lift the face, tightening the skin, and pull up the sagging double chin. So we will angle the stone on a 15-degree angle using moderate to a bit heavier pressure, and then also smooth out the areas where there are fine lines and wrinkles. So with the opposite hand, we pull away as we pull up for that cosmetic lift. Let's do this 5 times. So pulling away from the nose and using the stone to glide upwards, then wiggle. And after 5 times, we can then proceed to drain down the neck. An effective technique is to alternate between doing a crosshatch against the laugh lines and then sweeping them upwards towards the cheeks. As I do this, I think about the laugh lines and how people tend to focus on erasing them. Asians believe that it's a sign of a meaningful life, and there is beauty in those laugh lines. Deep laugh lines are a sign of intestinal health, so if your lines are bothersome, you might want to get a medical expert to take a look at your gut health. After this, we then sweep downwards towards heart center to effectively drain what we just worked on. In just a few short movements, I am seeing a difference on the one side of the face. The skin feels a bit tighter and everything seems to have lifted, resulting in a more aesthetically pleasing face shape. Now we will move on to doing the other side of the face, but we want to also focus on the center. Lines in between the brows, known as 11s, can indicate blockages in the liver, endocrine issues, or tightness in the neck. The best technique is to pull apart the brows using the 2 fingers of the resting hand, and then using the stone, move upwards to release the tension in between the brows. We can do this 5 times or more, depending on whether you're finding it very therapeutic. After working with the lines in the same direction, then we will work against the lines. So we spread the brows apart with our 2 fingers, then using the same edge of the stone, you would do a crosshatch, which is a back and forth quick rapid motion, and you work against the lines. And we can do this for 10 seconds on each side. So I count to 10 on one side, and then I move and count to 10 on the other side. After the crosshatch, we want to do a form of drainage. And so we put the stone in the center of our brows and sweep upwards and out in a rainbow-shaped form. We do this 5 times. Then, using the thinnest part of our facial massager tool, we will then do a brief rocking motion around the eyes. A warning that the skin around the eyes is very thin, so no pulling here, just a gentle rocking motion, holding the top brow to avoid stretching. There may be pain in this area because this area connects to the lungs, and it's also an indicator of any hormonal imbalances. So do enough to feel relief, adjusting the pressure accordingly as needed. When finished, you will see that one brow is slightly lifted. Next, the nose. It's an area of a lot of blockages. So by rolling down and up, releases all the blockages, and the beauty benefit is to raise the top lip. So we roll down, and then we flatten the stone and lift up. We'll do this for 5 passages. And then lifting upwards 5 times. We will then finish off by sweeping downwards and draining outwards. Fine lines around the mouth area can be indicative of digestion issues and also blood sugar levels. So you might want to check that with your doctor if you're finding that these lines are very predominant. The stone and the facial massage using the crosshatch technique can be very effective in erasing these lines. So we spread the lips apart using the 2 fingers of our resting hand and then crosshatch against the fine lines. This technique strengthens the muscles underneath the skin layer as well as tightening the skin so that we can effectively lift and erase those lines. We do this for about 15 seconds on each side. And as a last step, we can take the tool across our lips to smoothen and glide across. So we smooth around and release. The reason why lips lose their volume is because the muscles tighten and stick closer to the gums. So this occurs predominantly with age. But by smoothing around and releasing, we can make the lips full again. The natural color can return, and also if you have chapped lips, those go away too. Now that we've finished one half of our face, I'm totally feeling the therapeutic effects. If you're following along, I hope that you feel them too. I think there are definite health benefits, and the skin benefits follow if we take care of ourselves from within. So now we'll attempt the other side of our face to balance the energy and muscle tone. Koreans love balance and symmetry, and so what we do to one side of our face, we will do to the other side of the face. Since I've explained the muscle and health benefits, I'll move a lot quicker this time around. Starting with the roots, the neck, we will warm up the thymus by doing a wiggle motion to help loosen and stimulate the areas which will help with the drainage. So let's start by draining outwards to the armpit, adding a little wiggle to make sure that we are warming up and focusing on a healthy lymphatic system. Then we start from the top of the neck downwards, sweeping and adding a wiggle 5 times. A brief break from the stone to tug on our ears, which can help with reducing or reversing some of the premature aging signs. And then we move downwards to drain all the stagnation down. Because during the first side, I focused a lot on the cheek muscle area. I want to make sure that I balance it out and give this side equal amount of attention. So I do this 5 times, focusing upwards and outwards and then draining down. Now moving towards the center, I spread apart the skin between the brows with my fingers and then take the stone and move upwards. This is to reduce the frown lines in the 11s. Next, we do a crosshatch for about 15 seconds, working against the lines in order to tighten the muscles and smooth. If this feels extra therapeutic for you, feel free to go longer than 15 seconds. And afterwards, we will start to work on the eye area, remembering how sensitive it is. So we don't want to pull or tug, we just want to do a gentle rocking motion. And we will do this for as long as it takes for us to feel relief. I like seeing the immediate effects of how the brow is lifted, so sometimes when I am short on time, I will just do this little rocking motion and get some therapy from that. Now onto the nose, where we roll down and out all the blockages that are occurring in our nasal passages. The beauty benefit of this is to keep our nose dainty. Then we drain downwards 5 times. Do this again if you are experiencing a lot of sinus congestion here. And then drain. Next is the laugh lines, where we use the wide edge of the stone to work with the lines, and then again the crosshatch to work against the lines. Then we use the stone to move upwards and outwards. We can use the curved part or the heart-centered part to really shape and contour from the cheekbone area. So focusing on lifting and wiggle. And now the lips, where we glide the stone over the lips and then making sure that we tighten it so that we are strengthening the muscles to build those lips to become full again. So we do this 5 times. And wiggle at the edge of our ears. And that's it. At this point, I wanted to remind the angle of the stone, which is really important. So we want to angle it at 15 degrees and always work sweeping upwards. And where necessary, we want to add in the wiggle to continue to loosen and strengthen the muscles. I love this Korean gualsa or guasha massage, and I do it daily. I'm also encouraging my husband to join me on a 21-day challenge to resculpt and contour his face, especially the jawline. So I work towards doing it for him, and I find that it's a really fun activity. He's also seeing a lot of great results, and so he's going to keep with it. I encourage you to join me also on the 21-day challenge. I'll be posting on Instagram reminders, so I'll see you there. Thanks!